Hey guys, we're back in Madame Chantal's kitchen. I'm Kiara and this is Madame Chantal. This video goes out to Justin for that time that he went to Olive Garden in Pineville, North Carolina.
So today we're going to be making Olive Garden inspired breadsticks a la Madame Chantal.
Let's get into it. So, we're gonna start off by putting 1 cup of flour into the bowl. The ingredients will be up above. As well, I did wash my hands before the video started because that is very important to do before cooking. So I have my 1 cup of flour in my bowl. Now, I'm going to take 1 cup of water, warm water that is, and I'll put it in another little bowl. So I'm gonna get my 1 cup of warm water. Got 1 cup of warm water. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1, 2. Now we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of fast-acting yeast. So here I have an old, ooh, this is hard to open. Ooh, that was tough. Okay, this is actually the new yeast. I had an old batch before opening the new one, but it's a bit too late for that. Madame Chantal might not be happy, but that is okay. She will understand. So we got 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. Now we're gonna mix that up and then we let it sit aside until it gets kind of foamy. So here I have my spoon. I'm just kind of mixing that in. Like so. And it's okay if you make a little bit of a mess. It's normal when you're cooking. These are going to be so yummy. All right, now that it's all mixed in and there's no more little clumps, I'm gonna let that sit for 5 minutes. So I'm back. It's been 5 minutes. As you can see here, I'll try to show as best I can. The yeast has activated and become foamy. As well, I made a mistake earlier as I was talking. It was actually 2 1/4 cups of flour. So now I'm going to mix in the yeast mixture into my flour mixture. So I'm just gonna scoop that all up, put that all in. Now I have a wooden spoon. I find that that's what works best. I'm just going to slowly start mixing that together. Then once it starts to get clumpy and more of a doughy material, I will be using my hands to knead the dough. This part can be a little bit tricky, so ask your parents for help if you need any. So, as I'm mixing, now that it's getting to like a doughy texture, I will start kneading the dough. So I have again re-washed my hands. It's very important to re-wash your hands at this point. I re-washed them before the video started. Now I'm going to remove my rings because we wouldn't want to get any dough stuck in that. So I'm going to remove the dough from the spoon, and you're just gonna get on in there and you're gonna knead with the palms of your hands. Just like so. This is my favorite part. I find it super fun and satisfying to feel the dough. It kind of makes me think of playing with Play-Doh. So you don't want to over knead your dough either. That's really important. So just until it kind of feels soft and mushy, but not sticky. You can always add in some extra flour if need be. And once your dough has formed into a ball and is no longer sticky, like so, we're going to place it in a bowl and we're going to cover it with saran wrap, a towel, as you wish, and we're going to let it sit for 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. Basically, when you check on it, if it has risen or not, that's what's gonna be your give or tell. And since it's fast acting dough, it rises pretty quickly. So I'm just going to rinse off my hands. Okay, Bob. And I'm going to cover the dough. I'll be back in about 20 minutes. So I'm back. The dough has risen. Here you see, it has risen quite a bit. I let it rise for 30 minutes finally. So I'm going to remove the plastic wrap. Also, again, I re-washed my hands. It's important to wash your hands a lot while you're cooking or baking, just for hygienic purposes. So I like to wash them as much as I can. So in here I have a bowl with some flour, just so that I don't have to put my hands directly in the bag. So I'm going to lightly flour my work surface, like so that the dough, doesn't stick everywhere. Again, this is kind of messy, but it's all part of the fun. So I'm going to now start rolling my dough, but not rolling with a rolling pin, rolling like a snake, because we are making breadsticks. And in theory, you could roll these breadsticks in any shape that you want. I'm just choosing the traditional shape. So I'm now going to put a little bit of flour on top of the dough, just because it has gotten a little bit sticky, which is normal after it rises. So you're going to put as much flour as you need. That's why we have our little bowl. It feels super nice. It's risen really well. Alrighty. So we have our ball of dough, and I'm going to start rolling. So I want to make chunky breadsticks. Nice long chunky breadsticks. I think they're going to be super delicious. And this is a really fun part too. And don't worry if it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect for it to taste good. You can really make them any way that you'd like. So I'm just kind of going like this, just any old way, nothing particular. And I'm going to lay them out on a pan with parchment paper so that it is non-stick. If you don't have parchment paper, you can always grease up a pan as well. That can work. And apparently there's also non-stick, what's that metal thing called, Mom? I forgot the name. Aluminum foil. All right, Madame Chantal is in the background, just making sure that I'm doing a good job for you guys. So I'm going to grab another chunk. Again, I'm making mine a bit chunky. More bread, the yummier. I'm gonna put a little bit of dough. Oof, my hair is getting in my face. I should have tied it for this bit, but that's okay. Alrighty. The next breadstick is made. So I'm spreading them out not too close to each other. I have a piece of Parmigiano Reggiano to hold the parchment paper down because we do have a fan. And if not, the parchment paper will go flying. So I'm thinking we'll probably be able to make maybe 5 or 8. It depends on the size that you decide to make, right? If you make really, really tiny ones, thin ones, you know, it all depends on what you decide to do. But I think that I'll be able to do about 8. Yeah, there we go. Super yummy. Can't wait. So I'm just rolling them out. Literally. Like little sneaks. So what have you guys been doing with your summer? Let me know in the comments down below. Have you guys been baking, making anything fun, going on trips? Just hanging out by the pool with your friends. Alrighty, this is going super well. Now I can move the Parmesan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There, I'm gonna be able to make 8. But again, if you make them smaller, you could definitely make more. Some of mine are very chunky, especially the beginning ones. I got a little carried away, what can I say? My hair is really getting in my face. I'm sure that I have flour on my face. Isn't that a nice look? Not sure though, but that's okay. It's part of the fun. Alrighty, kiddos, one last to go, and we're getting there. So, once I'm finished with this last breadstick, I'm going to let them rise for a second time for, again, about 15 minutes maybe, 15 to 20 minutes, depending. You know, it's funny because dough actually rises differently depending on the atmosphere, the weather, the day, the temperature. So some days your dough will rise really nicely, and other days your dough will rise a little bit less nice. And don't worry, it's not because you're a bad baker. It's just because of the day. So don't worry if you have trouble with dough. A lot of people are scared to work with dough, but just think of it as Play-Doh. Alrighty, so as you can see, I have my 8 breadsticks, and I'm going to let them rise for a second time. Again, I'll be putting saran wrap over them and let them rise. So I'll see you guys back in 15 minutes. So I'm back after the second rising of the breadsticks. As you can see, they are a lot bigger. So now it's time for the coating. So I like to do a garlic butter on my breadsticks. Of course, if you don't like garlic, that's fine. You can just do a butter wash. And I do like to add a little bit of oregano as well. So I have a 1/4 cup of melted butter. I have a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan. If you do grate your own Parmesan, please ask a parent or an adult to assist you. And I have 1/2 tablespoon of oregano. It can be fresh or it can be dried. Mine just so happens to be dried. I don't have any fresh in the house. And finally, it's going to be half a tablespoon of this extra minced garlic. You can use fresh garlic as well, as you wish. Again, it'll be in the same measurements. Of course, if you don't like that much garlic, put less, and if you love it, put more. I just put the perfect in between. So I have my butter mixture here. I am going to put in my oregano, just like that. Now I'm going to put in my half a tablespoon of chopped extra garlic mixture. It's like a paste almost. I like this. Sometimes I just put it on like bread and then I toast it in my air fryer, and it's really good. Now that I did that, I am going to mix that up. So I'm gonna just get a little spoon. And we mix that together. So we have our own garlic butter. You can also buy garlic butter at the grocery store. I just like to make it. I find it's really fun. And that way you can say that you made the whole thing homemade. So we mix that in really nice. Once it's all mixed and combined, oops, I dropped some. It's okay. It happens. I'm just gonna get a paper towel. Oops. I did not rip that paper towel correctly. That's okay. Alrighty. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to brush the mixture on the breads. As well, just so you know, before I started, I did heat up my oven to 425. Again, ask your parent when it comes to using an oven. And I just brush this on, like so. So then once I'm gonna be done brushing this on each bread, I will be sprinkling a little bit of Parmesan. Or as I like to say, Parmigiano Reggiano. There we go. Buttering up these breadsticks. They look so good already. So now that I've buttered all the breadsticks except for one, because my brother is a very picky eater and he does not like garlic whatsoever. So now it's time to sprinkle that little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano on the pieces of bread, except for that one for my brother. So again, wash your hands as usual, and I will be sprinkling just a little bit, just to add some extra taste and that yummy flavor. Again, this is optional, depends on each and everybody's taste buds. For example, my big brother, who really does not like cheese or garlic, right? We just make him plain, and that's okay. So just sprinkling that on. It's gonna be so good. I can already smell it, that fresh dough smell with the butter and the garlic and the oregano, the Parmesan. Yummy. Can't wait to dig in. And there we go. Perfect. Now we're ready to stick these in the oven. Time to take them out of the oven. please ask an adult to help you with this part. So the breadsticks are out of the oven, and now it's time to taste test. I also made a homemade marinara sauce as the breadsticks were cooking. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to know how I made it. Are you gonna dip?
Yep.
We're gonna cheers, okay? Cheers. Mmm.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm. Success. This one's for you, Justin, and that time that you went to Olive Garden in Pineville, North Carolina. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.